Next, you'll see lots 168 and 169. We've got two 8x10 photos, one of Katharine Hepburn as Rose Sayre and one of Humphrey Bogart as Charlie Allnut in The African Queen. The first photo you see is Hepburn in all her regalia as Rose Sayre, obviously just before they start going down the river. And it's simply signed Katharine Hepburn, which is fairly typical. What's not typical is that Miss Hepburn did not sign very much. Her autograph is very sought after because she simply did not sign. The other photograph, having Bogart as Charlie Allnut, is a little bit different because there's an inscription on it and it says, "For Kate, who disapproves." And as you look at this photograph, it even takes on more meaning because, of course, Charlie Allnut, in his character, is opening up a crate of Gordon's gin. And during the course of the movie, Rose Sayre takes him out of the gin and basically into her arms by the end of the movie. But what was going on during the filming of that movie is that by day they were filming, but by night, Humphrey Bogart and John Huston were living it up. They were drinking buddies. Whereas Miss Hepburn was doing her best to keep herself in what she considered to be great shape. The irony of all this is that Humphrey Bogart and John Huston went through the entire shoot in tip-top health, whereas Miss Hepburn drank the water, got sick, and lost 20 pounds, and was but a shadow of herself by the end of the shoot. So I just love the inscription, "For Kate, who disapproves," because it means so much on every level from Humphrey. Lot 254, we have two, and as you can see, extremely well-used Smythson address books from Miss Hepburn. She carried these from the 1950s to the 1970s, and they're a veritable who's who of Hollywood and theater. You have one of the other first couples of film and theater, Vivien Leigh and Laurence Olivier, as well as several addresses for Spencer Tracy, not to mention George Cukor and Frank Sinatra. Anyone that you want to know who was big in the 1950s or 60s is sitting in Miss Hepburn's address book. Collectors love items like address books because they provide a window into that person's life. They can see who they were visiting or knew in any specific period of time. Did she know Laurence Olivier? Well, here he is, under O's. Did she know Vivien Leigh? Well, here she is. Did she associate with? Where did she go? Opening an address book is opening really a page of their life, and that means it was something very close and important to them, which therefore translates to collectors. Lot 690, which is the original manuscript and handwritten notes for Miss Hepburn's autobiography, Me, is one of the most important lots in the sale. And it comes up in our last session, and I believe it's going to end up being probably, if not the greatest highlight, one of. And the reason being is that, first of all, it was a New York Times bestseller in 1991. Now, mind you, that's 10 years after she had won her fourth and last Best Actress Oscar. And I think it shows people that she was still as relevant in 1991 as she was in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s. And it shows what an icon that she remained and a figure to people worldwide. That said, if you look at the handwritten material behind that, what collectors and fans are going to find interesting is the creative process. What did she cross out? What did she leave in? What was she thinking? And you see that, and you see that in stages. You're only seeing a small part of the entire manuscript, but we have over 4,000 pages. And it shows the entire progression from the first handwritten drafts, which are done in longhand on legal paper, all the way through the typewritten versions with annotations. And again, people will be able to see what she was thinking and how she was thinking and how she changed in her writing.
Next, When you think Hepburn, you think Tracy, one of the most famous love stories in American cinema history.
Their affair was basically an open secret in Hollywood. It was not well known until after he passed away.